Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, T Kids Design. If you are new, welcome. Before we get started, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up, you subscribe, and you ring the bell for notifications. I have my setup all ready. I know on my first video, I just showed you guys all the supplies that I had to start my embroidery, but now as you can see in the background, I do have everything set up. The vinyl is up on the wall. I have my machine right here, and today I just wanted to show you guys a project that I'm going to be working on, and it's this teddy bear applique that I will be doing on a onesie as a gift for a friend. All right guys, so to get started, I have my onesie here. I did fold it in half and I heat pressed it just to get the center for the design. But I want to show you guys here real quick. Whenever you're going to embroider it on a onesie, you want to make sure that it's inside out and that this part of the shirt where the tag is or label is facing up. Then you're gonna fold it in half, and you can, I have this Cricut that I use to heat press it. You can use a regular iron, it doesn't really matter. And then you're gonna get that line in the middle just so that you're able to get the center of the onesie and you can align your design. I will be using a piece of heat transfer vinyl here for the Teddy's bow. Whenever you're using the heat transfer vinyl, you do want to peel off the carrier sheet. This part we're going to get rid of, and then this is the part that we're going to be using. In the back, I will be using the spray and bond adhesive just to make it stick on the onesie and it doesn't move whenever it's stitching. I have my piece of fabric here. I'll be using pink for the heart, and then I do have a brown color for the teddy bear. And in the back, I did go ahead and I did this. I put the heat and bond, and I did heat press it as well. So as you guys can see, it has already the glue on it. Whenever you're doing the heat and bond, it's gonna have a rough side and then a smooth side. The rough side, you have to make sure that it's facing down on the fabric, and then you can heat press it or iron it. So this is ready to go. And then for this particular design, I am using 8 different colors of thread. So I like to have my threads organized on the table. I will be using cutaway, stabilizer, and then I have my hoop 5x7. This is the hoop that I'll be using on my machine, and I am going to be using this grid just to kind of show you guys how I get the center of my onesie. And I do have my water soluble pen just to draw on the cutaway. This is the piece of stabilizer that I'm going to be using. Again, is the cutaway. So I normally just try to like eyeball it and center it, and then I'm just gonna hoop it. The onesie we're not going to hoop because we're just gonna float it on top of the hoop. So we're gonna push this in, make sure it's nice and tight. That's how it should look, nice and firm. And then once you have it where you want it, we're gonna tighten this part. So once that is done, we're gonna get this little handy dandy grid that comes with the machine. We're gonna put it right in this little tabs that it has right there. We're gonna just drop it right there, and then normally if you want, you can just kind of, it has circles, some holes for you to mark. This is how it's going to look. See, I already know that this is the middle. I don't really use the horizontal line. I'm more focused on the vertical here, so that's my landmark to float my shirt. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna spray this. Let me just show you guys. I just don't want to get it all over because it does get messy, so whenever you're doing it, make sure you do it like on the side. But that's what you normally would do. And then, all right, so once I have my shirt centered, we're gonna open it up. So this is what the onesie should look like once you float it. And it's floated because it's not in the hoop, it's on top. And it's stuck on there with the adhesive. So then to check, I always just like to go ahead and look for my marks here for the arrow. I think that looks pretty good. And then at the bottom, the same thing. Just my line is right here where I ironed the onesie, and then this is the little tab. So I think that's good. So I feel okay with this positioning. So I'm just gonna leave it just like that. So now the next step is I'm gonna take you over to my machine. All right guys, so I already have my flash drive in there. I already have my design on the screen. my hoop there. You always have to make sure it snaps. Once you hear it click, then you know it's good to go. I always like to print out a copy of the design that I'm going to be making, because then I could just follow the steps through and see what color thread I have to change. So we're gonna start off with the brown. So I'm just gonna go ahead and thread the machine real quick. So the machine is already threaded and ready to go. The tricky part with the onesies is that you have to actually sit here and babysit the onesie, because if not, it's gonna get caught. And so normally you just want to pull it up and then do this. So before I start, I'm gonna go ahead and trace it just to make sure that it doesn't go too high or too low, just to make sure that the design is gonna stitch where I want it to be. So we're gonna do that. So there's tracing it. It kind of shows me where the design is gonna go. So I wanna make sure it's not too high up, but I think that looks pretty good. And if you're happy with where it's at, you can start. So I'm gonna put the foot down, and then I am going to start the machine. I'm gonna lift this up. I need to raise my needle. I'm gonna cut the thread here, and then I'm gonna grab my piece of fabric, put it in here. You just have to make sure that you get the shirt completely out of the way. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fix my fabric here. And okay, so I have already placed the fabric on here. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the green button to continue stitching out the bear. I am just cutting the fabric here, guys. I'm going to fast forward this part just for the sake of the video, because this part is a little bit tedious and time consuming. Alright, so I cut the fabric. As you guys can see, my bear is coming along. I changed my thread. Now I'm going to use the pink, because it's actually going to do the tap down stitch for the heart, and then we'll apply the fabric for that. Just gonna cut the thread, and then I'm gonna put my little piece of fabric here. Now once you cut the thread, you do have to, the needle is threaded, but it's short, so it's gonna come out. So I like to just take it out, re-thread it again, put my foot down, and we're gonna start again. All right. Cut this again. I'm gonna take it out. I have to cut my fabric, and then I'll show you guys what it looked like. I'm still gonna keep the pink thread. Now it's gonna do the nose, and then it's gonna jump over to the bow. I know the nose is brown, but it's going over the pink. It's okay, because then on the top it's gonna do the satin stitch. Right now I'm just gonna hit the green again. It's gonna just go over the nose, and then it should jump up to the bow. All right, guys, so now it did jump up to the bow, so that's what it's going to start stitching out now. Now it's gonna stop. I'm gonna cut the thread. I'm going to spray my vinyl with the spray and bond, and I'm gonna apply it, and then I'll show you guys how it looks after it's stitched down. All right, so I did apply my piece of vinyl. As you guys can see, it's nice and firm right there. So now let's start it. All right, guys, same process. I'm gonna unhoop the hoop from the machine. I'm gonna cut out the vinyl, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, guys, so I did already went ahead and I cut the vinyl. This is what it looks like. I changed my thread, because now we're gonna move on to the next step. My foot is down. Let's hit start. Now I believe it's going to do the eyebrows and the feet. There goes the ears. All right guys, so after it's finished this step here, I'm gonna go ahead and change the thread to the darker brown because I believe that it's going to do the satin stitch for the bear. But pretty much, if you guys can see, it's pretty much done. We just gotta do a couple details on it and that's it. And then the last thing it's gonna do is gonna be the name. Okay, now we're gonna do the satin stitch. I did change the thread like I told you guys, and now it's just gonna do the satin stitch. All right guys, so as you can see, it already finished the satin stitch for the bear. I changed the thread. Now it's gonna do the same thing for the heart. Whenever you're babysitting a onesie, you just always have to have in mind that you're spreading the onesie apart like this, but you're never putting pressure down on the arm or the hoop itself because it can actually mess up your design. That's looking good. Let me know what you guys think so far. Any comments? I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. It gets easier, guys, trust me. Babysitting this, I thought it was worse, but once you start doing it, it's not that bad. Now it's just gonna do the bow. We're almost there, guys. This design is just a little bit, has a lot of detail, so I just did the little inside of the heart. Now it's gonna stitch out the eyes. So I'm gonna change my thread to the black, and then it's gonna do the eyes. Now it's just gonna start doing the eyes. Our little bear's coming to life. It's looking like a bear now. Gonna jump to the next eye. This design is super cute, guys. I got the file off of Etsy. That's where you can find it. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the thread real quick. And then I'm gonna change it to the white because it's gonna do the inside, the eyeball. So you guys can see it real quick and the eyes will be done. At this point, like I said, you don't really have to babysit it that much because you know it's not gonna go nowhere from there. So I kind of just let it be. Now we're gonna change it to the brown because it's just gonna do the outline of the mouth. Our teddy's looking pretty cute. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. It says finish embroidering. We're gonna put okay. I'm gonna lift this up and I'm gonna unhoop it. If you guys can see all these little strings, that's what I'm gonna go ahead and cut off, and then I'll come back to you guys. All right guys, so I just want to show you real quick. I did finish cutting all the little loose threads that I had. Now before I unhoop, I go to the back of the stabilizer, and all these little threads that we have, I try to cut off as much as I can. This is just pretty much a preference. You don't really have to, but I like to do it just so that I can look cleaner. And then on the back of this design right here, I am going to iron a piece of Tender Touch, and that's just so it doesn't irritate the child's skin. So after I finish cutting all these little threads, I'm gonna unhoop the onesie. I'm gonna flip it inside out just to see how it looks, and then I'll put the Tender Touch on the back, and that should be it. All right guys, so I think it looks pretty clean. I'm just gonna leave it just like that. The majority of this is gonna get cut away. All right guys, so we have come to the end of this video. I did went ahead and cut a piece of Tender Touch. I just wanted you guys to see it right here. It's a little bit bigger than the design. This is what it comes, this is the packaging, what it looks like. And then I'm going to be heat pressing it with my Cricut. The angle's a little bit weird, but you guys get the point. And I have it set to 270, and we're gonna do it for 10 seconds. There it is, nice and smooth. So now it won't irritate the child's skin. Let's flip it over. And this is the final product. All right guys, and here we have it. I just wanted to show you guys the onesie. It's finally completely done. I think it came out super duper beautiful. I love the colors. Everything came out really nice. I know my friend is gonna really like it. She's expecting her baby soon, so I'll be wrapping this up and giving it to her as a gift. And I hope you guys liked it. You liked this video. Please remember before you leave to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And I will see you guys in the next one.